Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text. We tie him to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the narrative lectionary, and it's the 7th Sunday of Easter, and we're in Romans, and it's all about grace making us free, and about how, because we're free, it doesn't mean we're going to turn back into sin, to go into sin again. But this idea that we are free, that grace makes us free, that we are not under the law, and so in that we are able to love like that. We are able to live in freedom, and we're able to love people in a wonderful and fantastic way, if you will. And so I'm looking at since we've been freed, we can act like we've been freed. So we can actually be freed, and if you want, and sometimes I don't act like it. Sometimes I'm like I'm still under the law. I'm still trapped, but the idea that we are free. So. The items I'm using, either a pair of handcuffs. I just happen to have this is for a different magic trick, but you can make one of these at the Dollar Tree. They've got police sets where you get a fake set of handcuffs, and all you have to do is just cut the handcuffs. You don't have to relink them. You can just have the handcuffs here, and you can hold them together like this, and you can, like I'm trapped, and then you talk like this, and you let the kids realize that you're not really bound, you're free. And so, but you can act like it, and then you can talk like this, but you're like, no, I'm trapped. I'm not free. And so, but this is a very visual idea that you have been set free. You can use a rope. You can have a rope tied here and a rope tied here, and then you cut the rope, but the rope's already cut and you're frayed, and so you're holding it like this, but it's very visible that at some point it's been cut. You can hold it like this. Again, you're bound, and then you're not. Because I'm really focusing, on the end of this text, there's the verse at the very end that really kind of just lifts this up for me. It's the Lectio Divina of this text for me as I'm listening to it, and it rises to the surface. I'm going to pull this up because I really like this text, and it says, "For sin will have no dominion over you, since you are not under the law, but under grace." And that whole thing, because the feeling is like here I'm trapped. Sin has, it's got control over my life. I am bound. But no, it does not control me anymore. That's it. We know that we know that we sin, and we know that we have a God that forgives us, and under grace we have been set free. And that's the Lectio. When I think of Lectio Divina, if you're not familiar with Lectio Divina, the idea is to hear Scripture, read it aloud. It works great in a group. You have someone read this Scripture aloud, and the first time it's read aloud, you listen for a word or a phrase that rises to the surface for you. The second time you hear it read aloud, you listen for an emotion or a feeling or something that rises up to the surface for you. And then the third time is an action, what are you being asked to do in this text. And for me, the word and the action comes up as that we're no longer under the law but under grace, and then the action is that I live in that freedom, and it allows me then to love and care for my neighbor in very grace-filled ways. So that's the direction I'm going, using the handcuffs, or using a piece of rope that's tied here, and then you're there. So I am hoping that can be a springboard for your own thinking. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.